I've been awake for a while now. Designer boutique is my style now. It's like I'm floating off the ground now. I'm on another level, Cartier on the bezel, yeah. I get the money and run, I get the money and run. You think I'm falling in love, but it's just snow on the bluff. I get it, I live it, tryna fit in my world, but it's far from basic. No, I'm not complacent, God is so good, no, you can't replace it. Level up, level up, level up, level up. Holla at me, better measure up. Swerving in the Lambo, rev it up. Level up, level up, level up, level up. Talking money, we can settle up. If you want me, better level up. I've been no, I've been no, I've been no, wow. I've been no, I've been no, I've been no, wow. I've been no, I've been no, I've been no, wow. I've been no, I've been no, I've been no, wow. I've been no, I've been no, I've been no, wow. I've been no. If you wanna get with me, you better level up. If you wanna get with me, you better level up. Or you cannot get with me if you don't measure up. If you wanna get with me, you better level up. Level up, level up, level up, level up. Holla at me, better measure up. Swerving in the Lambo, rev it up. Level up, level up, level up, level up. Talking money, we can settle up. If you want me, better level up. Level up, level up, level up, level up. Holla at me, better measure up. Swerving in the Lambo, rev it up. Level up, level up, level up, level up. Talking money, we can settle up. If you want me, better level up.
Thank you, Darts. You are listening to Arizona's #1 geek and nerd comic book podcast, at least in my mind. You're listening to the Absolute Geek Podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Brian.
Damn it! I was gonna intro with something else, and I fucking forgot.
Welcome, everyone. Happy 4th of July to everyone in the States. If you guys had fun yesterday barbecuing and shooting explosives in the air and doing whatever crazy shit you do on the 4th of July, no one's gonna fault you for whatever you do unless you shoot guns in the air. That's just kind of a jackass move. But
Yes,
but yeah, so what'd you guys do for your 4th? Anything fun?
I just kind of hung out with my pops and my brother, and it was a good day. Good day. Shitty night, but good day.
I watched Stranger Things.
Me too. I went golfing with my
watched all
dad.
8 episodes.
Went golfing with my old man. Got a little bit of heat stroke.
Ooh.
You know, overheated a little bit. That was fun.
Ooh.
You're out there and you're like, the Arizona heat, it's hot. The sun is hot, but it is brutal when it's just beating down on you. I'm like, it was 85 when we started. I was like, this isn't bad, but then when you're standing there, just the sun beating directly on you is just brutal.
It's even bad at nighttime when it's 100 degrees.
Yeah.
You know? Damn. So.
It's a dry heat. Well, I can tell you, it being a dry heat, that doesn't mean shit. It's still
It's a shitty
hot.
heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still very, very hot.
Yeah.
But well, I hope everyone had a good 4th of July. Like Kyle said, I did. I started watching Stranger Things myself. I finished it today. Have you finished it yet, Kyle?
I finished it last night.
I still haven't watched it.
I thought it was better than season 2. It was a lot better than season 2.
I thought it was too, but I figured we'd wait, give everybody time to watch it. I'm sure everybody fucking watched it, but whatever.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Maybe talk about it next week.
we can give
Yeah.
people time. I'm just saying, like, I was surprised how quickly I burned through 8 episodes. Like, I didn't really it didn't feel like I watched 8 episodes of an hour-long show. I didn't feel like I watched 8 hours of a show.
Some of them were longer.
Yeah.
The last couple were like an hour and 20 or something. So
Yeah. Well, let's get it started, guys. I'm going to go ahead and screen share while Kyle talks. Matt, if you want to throw me on presenting real quick, here we go.
Yeah. Hold up.
Let's do this.
I'd like to give a shout out to Chuck. Chuck lost his dog last night. His dog's been going through some seizures and not doing too well, so he made the decision to put his dog down. And God, he's had that dog for like 12 years. I remember when I was a little puppy, and I just want to give a shout out to know that we're, when we're attached to something like a pet, and it's hard to, especially having it for 12 years. It's a hard thing to do, decide to put it down. So we're just letting you know that sorry to hear that you had to do it.
Yep. Much love and respect and positive thoughts going out. So anybody has to do that. It sucks. So
Yeah, it was. I remember when that dog was a puppy.
yeah,
It was a rambunctious puppy.
yeah. It sounded like a pit bull, the way a pit bull acts.
Yeah, but
Absolutely loyal to no doubt to its owner.
he wasn't mean. Chuck was very kind to that dog, and you could tell he loved it. And it just
Yep.
it's that thing got fucking huge fast though.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He's saying it was a bit.
Insane.
He got to the point where it was tough to even pick him up, and especially when he's dead weight. So, yeah, that was that's a bad thing to go through anytime, especially on the 4th of July when the regular vets aren't open, and if you have a vet that you go to. But anyways, big shout out. So we kind of wanted to start the show out and give that a shout out. But one of the things that we kind of got to go into is the Neil Adams drawing. So
I think we should wait. We need to do that at the end of the show.
you want to do it at the end?
Yeah, it doesn't need to be right off the bat. That make them
Why?
wait. Make them wait.
Nah, let's
All
do
right.
Make
it.
them wait.
We'll
Make them wait for it.
We'll wait.
You don't.
All right.
You don't hand the cookie out right away. You make them work for it.
Well, they've waited 4 weeks.
right.
It's all right.
Let's-
What's
everybody
what's
who's
another
entered is
2
entered.
hours?
But
What's another 2
yeah.
hours?
You know what? We'll wait a little bit. We'll get a couple topics in, and then we'll give it to them.
Curveball. You have to be in the chat till the end to win. So if we draw your name and you're not there, you don't win.
No, that's fine.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that.
But
But if you don't claim your prize in 2 weeks, I get it.
So
Yeah.
so now that we officially started the show by bringing everybody down, we're trying to challenge ourselves here. Show's getting kind of stale, so we figured this week we would start it on a down note, with sadness, and now we're gonna try and elevate our game. So we'll see if we can elevate that game. So I didn't mean to kill your vibe by saying let's wait for the Neil Adams thing, but I think it should be the last thing we do before Brian goes to take his shit this week. I think it needs to be the last thing we do.
yeah.
That way Tim has to sit through the entire show before he wins, because Jesus Christ, how many entries he's
He's
got.
got five or six entries in there. Jesus, yeah.
That's what you get when you fucking participate.
Yeah.
Right?
But so first topic of the show, we've been talking and we've had a lot of people get back to us about like some comic book collecting topics and helping people out that might not, know all this stuff. People that are new to the game. We'll be throwing out all kinds of info. We'll try and hit a topic once a week. But our first topic for the collecting topic of the week is Mylars and boards. Basically bags and boards, but of a much higher quality that you want to put your better books in at least. And trust me, you might not think you need them, but once you put them in there and you see how good they look in these Mylars, you'll want to do it. But one of the things that I was able to do is I was able to pull out a couple. These are what I use. I use the Mylite 2s from E. Gerber Mylars and the full back backing boards. And basically what they are, full back backing boards are just like really thick, super heavyweight backing boards that you don't have to worry about changing every 5 years like you should with regular bags and boards.
So we have to change them every 5 years.
Yeah. So with Mylars, you don't even have to do that. I mean, most people don't change their bags and boards every 5 years. They don't ever change them.
So,
but if
you say that you should you recommend changing your bags and boards every 5 years?
I don't recommend it because I say, why do that? Why don't you just buy Mylars and put them in Mylars? I mean, at least your good books. But that's what most comic collecting advice is you need to change your bags and boards because they get old. Have you ever gone through like a collection and the bags and boards are so old that they're literally sticking to each other?
Yeah.
So they're kind of degrading. They're falling apart. Mylars won't do that.
Well, how much would like proper storage, like in a like room temperature room, in a bag, in a long or short box, and kind of a darker, more cooler place? How much would that affect that?
Yeah, proper storage for comics is common sense in my opinion, right? You live in Arizona, it's 120 degrees. Don't fucking put your comics in the garage. You know what I mean? You live somewhere where there's a lot of flooding. Don't put your comics in the basement if you don't have a pump, or you know what I mean? Like, just be smart about it. Anything is going to go bad when you put it to the elements. You don't want to put comics, no matter what type of bag of board they're in the sun. They're going to fade. That's just with anything. So I think that's kind of common sense. Put your comics where they're safe. And
so how much thicker is the Mylar boards than the normal like BCW boards?
So the fullbacks are let's see here if it says here, 42 mil thick cardboard. So what is that? What's 42 mils? I guess that's like, I can't. It's too hard to show on here. I have a link that I'm going to put out here at the end. and we'll put in the show notes. And so the place where I learned about these Mylars, you can see them. You can see they're really nice. They're almost, I like the fullbacks because they're almost like the top loaders. They've got a lot of, you can kind of.
They're more dense.
They're sturdy, yeah. You don't have to worry about, bending them or anything. And they just look really clear. They make the book really pop. If you're going to, we've been proponents of putting books out so you can enjoy them. Put them on the wall if you like the cover, and this is a perfect thing to do. You can buy cool, a comic book frame, throw them in nice Mylars, throw them in the comic book frame.
But buying tip, I would say with that is if the person selling you the book is selling the Mylar more than the book and how the book looks in the Mylar and pushing up the grade because of the way it looks in the Mylar, it's a red flag to take it out and look at it before you buy it.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there.
Somebody in Kyle's audience liked that tip. Someone in Kyle's audience loved that tip. He had to laugh at it. Kyle, you didn't know Kyle performs in front of a studio audience every weekend.
Yeah. So what? I'll share this real quick here.
Real quick before you go on, do you have just a normal bag and board that you would buy from the comic shop versus your thick bags that you can show people the difference?
I don't have any here, and you're not going to see the difference here. It's just too small. But I have a link that I'm going to post, and I'm going to show you guys real quick. And it shows all bags that you got different size bags and boards, right? And it's the same with Mylars. And the only problem with Mylars that is tough at first is you have to figure out what size bags and boards you need. Because with Mylars, you have to buy a board that's a certain size and a bag that's a certain size. For example, everything that I put in my normal modern books, I put in 725 M2 Mylars and then 700 FB, which is for fullback. So you're doing the 725 bag, that's the size, and 700 board. So you're making the board just a little bit smaller. And the link I have, once you go to this link, you'll see what each bag and board looks like with a comic in it. And it's cool because what he does is he shows a modern book in all the Mylars and boards, a Golden Age book in all the Mylars and boards, magazine, so you can see. And the links that he gives on how to get them. And this was one of the best tips that I ever had in the last 10 years in the comic community was this link. It's in my favorites for comics. I go to it once a year or once every 2 years whenever I got to buy Mylars. I buy Mylars. I just buy them in bulk. I buy 1,000 Mylar bags and 1,000 boards, and I think it's like $300. And that lasts me usually 2 years or more. And otherwise it's quite a bit more. But
you spend $300 on bags and boards?
Yeah, I mean you're putting books in there that are worth 10 times that.
That's true.
Why? Yeah, why, and you're only buying bags and boards once for 2 or 3 years. I go through a lot of bags and boards. Imagine somebody that goes through half of that. You know what I mean? You can just buy enough bags and boards for your whole thing. We were talking about Chuck earlier, and Chuck started collecting comics recently, and he's putting together a nice collection. And he recently, had to buy a bunch of bags and boards for his collection. And he literally went. He said, "Okay, where are you buying your bags and boards?" I told him. He bought 1,000 bags and boards. He's going to have to buy more because his collection's over 1,000 books. So if you know what I mean, you got to think what these bags and boards are doing and how important they are, especially for good books. Mm-hmm. But let me go ahead and Kyle, if you want to throw anything in there, I'm gonna bring up this page real quick and share it, and then once you're done, we can.
And another good way to seal up the Mylars is the painter's tape. So get away from using Scotch tape and get more into the painter's tape, because the painter's tape is made to peel off. So if it happens to get stuck on the book, it's not going to rip, it's not going to tear, it's not going to leave any residue. It's
yes. Yeah.
And it's
So-
easier to reseal.
So you would suggest painter's tape over even like self-adhesive
Yes,
bags and
I
boards?
always, so if you guys can see, let me go ahead and stop sharing
Ooh, that's a
here.
good book. I have a couple of those.
So I'm going to stop sharing real quick and then I'll go back. But if you guys can see this, this is this right here is how I use all my Mylars. I put a painter's tape on the back, and if it's a PC book, I'll put what the book is. Like this one says Second Venom Appearance McFarlane, right? Because this is like the second cover appearance of Venom, and this is a hot book right now because and I just went and pulled out all my copies and I put painter's tape on the back. I don't like self-adhesive on these types of books just because, like Kyle said, it's so much easier with painter's tape. You never have to worry about painter's tape. I've literally put painter's tape on accident right on a cover, and you can pull it off and slow enough and not to have any issues. You're not going to do that with anything else, if you make a mistake. So, but here we go. Let me screen share one more time.
You even put labels on the back of your tape, huh?
Sometimes depends on the book. If it's a good book, yeah. Here's the link. It's actually the CGC board forums. So CGC, obviously the biggest grader in the biz.
Do you want to put it in chat, Brian, so people can look at it?
Yeah, I'll put it in chat. But this is the guide, and you can see here he's got Sandman #1, one of the biggest modern books, and he shows like this one right here is in the 700 M2s. This is the book ones that I have. I like to have a little white on my boards. I don't like them right on the edge. I think that you're better off having a little bit of space. And depends on how much space you want. You can go all the way to the super gold and go crazy. I don't like that. I like these right here for my moderns, which is the 725 M2 Mylars with the 700 fullbacks. And then for my Silver Age, I can even stick some Silver Age in those and they fit nice. If they don't, I'll go to the silver and gold ones. And then I bought a few Golden Age because I don't have very many Golden Age books. Most of them, I bought a few just to help Chuck out and put some of his really nice Golden Age books in some. But you can see how nice the Golden Age books and they look in them. So let me go ahead. I'll stop sharing one more time and put this up in chat.
I think that's another big takeaway as a collector starting out to take away is that there are different sizes bags and boards. So, you want to make sure you're watching what you're putting your book in because moderns are smaller than gold and silver, and there's different size bags and boards for that reason. So pay attention to what you're putting them in. And there's also
I know a lot of
magazine
people
boards.
like to put their modern books in silver
bags
and boards.
I hate that. I think it looks sloppy. Personally, I think it looks sloppy when there's so much room for them to just slide around and like potentially maybe on the off chance catch damage. I don't know. I like that nice tight fit. Like I like here. I don't know if let me present. Well, let me present here real quick because I don't know if you'll be able to tell the difference here. But like Walking Dead, I just have it sitting right here. 193 just came out this week, and it's kind of an oversized issue, and they put it in a gold and silver age book or bag. So you see how it's kind of there's that extra space versus like Uncanny X-Men 21 that's in the correct bag and board. There's not all that extra space, so your comic isn't like sliding around and stuff. Like I don't want my books to be sliding around. I like them to be nice and tight in the bag and board. That's just my personal preference.
Yeah, but see the crazy thing with the Mylar books is that they kind of keep the comic centered more, and it actually kind of, if you can see, this book has been in here for a couple of years now, and it's centered really nice. It doesn't move around. I can you can make it move around if you kind of hit it and stuff, but. Mm-hmm. I'm just kind of shaking it around here, and it doesn't really move around. So the Mylars kind of hold the book a little bit better, and you'll even feel that when you're putting them in. So that's another good thing about Mylars.
I think books look good like this.
Yes.
Nice and graded.
Yes.
I don't like to get them graded anymore, but I think they look so nice, vacuum sealed and encapsulated.
And
that's a different.
And you know what? To be honest, that takes us right into the next topic. Like that this is the talk of the comic world right now. Especially that book, with how 193. You know, we talked about it last week. I think we talked about it last week. Did we talk about it last week? We didn't talk about it last week.
What?
With Walking Dead 193.
Oh no, that just came out this one. Oh, nobody knew about that book. That book was not on the radar until Monday morning.
Yeah. So the crazy thing is, like, in the CBSI groups and stuff like that, when they found out about it, some people were like, it's going to be overprinted. It's going to be tons of them. This is how crazy these perfect storms are with the books. The Walking Dead 193 was probably one of the biggest printed books of the month, and it was going for up to $50 for some sales right out the gate. And I think I saw a sale get for number 1, 9.8, get close to $3,000, right? Or did it go? Did we have a sale over 3? We might have already had a sale over 3. But I know that all of a sudden, Walking Dead is going crazy. And
now that it's done, it's sparked a lot of collectors, because I've seen in a lot of groups and in a lot of chats and a lot of forums where people are like, I need this 193, and then I need any other books that anybody's willing to sell. So now that it's done, people like have this. It's sparked this weird interest back into Walking Dead. And now people are bending over backwards to try to get these books again. And it's books that, a week ago, a lot of the issues were just sitting on shelves. Which, I mean, I think it's kind of cool. But, I mean, yeah, there is this turnaround. And, a lot of people are saying just wait another 2 weeks and it'll level back out. Which is true because, the day that this was released, they already called for a second printing.
Yeah.
Well, it's because Kirkman they did it on the sly. Like every comic book I went to, probably 4 different shops now. They've all been sold out. He didn't let it drop. Nobody leaked. Nobody at Skybound. Nobody at Diamond. Nobody knew this is what was going to happen. So the stores ordered probably to fill their orders and maybe a few more, and that was it. And then Monday when the news dropped that it was the final issue. People went crazy and were trying to order it. I was talking to my buddy Alex from Samurai, and he was like, man, they had maybe 50,000 more copies to order from Diamond, and they were there 1 minute. We went back to order more, and they were gone. So
I know I'm talking to Ken at Drawn to Comics here in Old Town Glendale. He said he saw it, and he was lucky enough to be able to order some more. So he's going to get some more first prints in. But, yeah, I mean, every comic book store in America, it seems like, is sold out of this book, which I think is awesome. I'm glad he did that. More things like this in our world need to be more of a surprise. That's one thing that's kind of the internet is poo-pooed, is surprises. We're not surprised by anything anymore because everything gets out. And the fact that they went to great lengths to keep it quiet, to mock covers, to everything staying the same. Even he was even building it up before, because there was an article I read when we met Kirkman and Adlard at San Diego Comic-Con. They were already discussing this issue.
Wow.
So they've known this long. So it's I just think more things need to be like that.
I think it also got to a point where he wasn't enjoying it anymore. I bet that his thought process on it was, I'm going to do it until I quit enjoying it, and once I quit enjoying it, then I'm going to start the final storyline.
I read an article where he just said he just realized that there was nothing else to tell.
Yeah.
He said, instead of dragging it out and making it into where people didn't care about it, he was like, I'll just
end it on my own terms.
Yeah, he'll go on his own terms. He didn't want to write enough material to do another compendium. So he's like, 4 is perfect. This issue will complete 4, where I'll have 4 complete compendiums for people to buy. Because he said those are the hottest books that are selling, are those Walking Dead compendiums. Because, you don't have to search for all these single issues. You can buy them in one big chunk.
Yeah.
So he said 193 with the 70-page issue. It filled it.
So it's 70 pages, like 3 issues, right?
Yeah.
That's a long comic, man.
It went pretty quick though. It was it's like every other Walking Dead. It was a pretty quick read, and knowing that it was the last issue, you took that time to soak it in and to you really took your time. You really soaked in each panel on each page and every word. Well, I mean, that's what I did. And I went back, and if I seemed like I missed something, I went back and I reread it. A lot of times with comics, we just read them, we just read through them, and we don't. Sometimes we don't take the time because we know we have 4 more comics to read, so we're trying to we're excited that it's New Comic Wednesday, and we're trying to catch up from last month, and you've got all these back issues you're trying to get to, and I think with Walking Dead, I just took my time, just knowing that it was, and you know what. I thought it was a great. Well,
I was going to ask, what do you guys think?
There's unanswered questions. There's but I think that's kind of cool that he did that because he gave us closure, and at the same time he didn't. He played both sides of it, and I think that's actually kind of cool that he did that. He gave us about a 20-year time jump, and so things are a lot different. And I'm not going to go into too much because I know probably it's only come out Wednesday. It's only been out for a couple days. But there's a lot of stuff I'd like to know. But at the same time, I'm cool with not knowing too. I don't really need to know the backstory on a few things. It's just the way it is, and I'm kind of cool with that.
Yeah,
I liked how it went. It left everything in a pretty good spot. What do you think, Matt?
I mean, I don't know. I liked it. Kyle called me when I was reading. He was like, how is it? And I was like, I'm gonna let you judge for yourself. And he's like, ooh. He's like, the minute you're not hyping it up and you're like, I'm gonna let you judge for yourself, it's not good. And it's not that it's not good. I would have taken it in a different direction, but I'm not writing it. As this is like, to be honest with you, in my personal opinion, Walking Dead #1 every once in a while you get that phenomenon where you get like your Amazing Fantasy 15s or your Detective Comics or Action Comics #1. And I really think that The Walking Dead #1 is that book of our time, of our generation. And
You're 100% correct.
And this is the first series I've been in my lifetime that I've been able to follow really from #1 to the end. And because unfortunately don't get the pleasure of doing that with like Batman or Superman or you do with reruns, but not like the core volume. And I've read Walking Dead 1 to 193. I have the compendium. I have compendium. Is Kyle showing off all of his stuff right there? I have compendium 2 and 3, or 1 and 2, and I'll have to get 3 and 4. And I'll honestly probably put all my single issues in boxes and keep them nice and neat for if I ever decide to sell them. And I'll get the compendiums to read. But there's things I would have went differently. Like there's a lot of relationships that he spent a lot of time building up that in the final issue they're gone and you don't know what happened to them. And like I don't want to ruin, like Kyle said, it's only been out for a week. Most people haven't been able to get their hands on it. I don't want to spoil the relationship I'm talking about, but yeah, I mean it's the story of Rick Grimes, and that's pretty much what the final issue is. It's the final issue is the story of Rick Grimes told by someone else to someone else. That's where I'm gonna leave that. But
the issue wasn't directed as like it was sat down and issue 1 to issue right now meant to be the story of Rick Grimes. That's not what their intention was.
No.
But their intention is this badass cover right here.
Yeah, that's such a beauty. That's such a beauty.
But
it was cool how they did it though.
I mean, this is a comic of our time. Like this is a phenomenon. Like there's TV shows, there's spin-offs, there's the comics, there's hardbound books, there's so much material out there Walking Dead wise that just because a comic is ending doesn't mean that we're not going to be able to play in this universe anymore. And Kirkman kind of leaves it open. He kind of leaves it open, like Kyle said, with with some stuff where he could come back and play a little bit more if he wanted to. And he said there's so much I could do in this universe, but I want to go out on my terms, and I don't want to end the book because I'm forced to because sales are dipping. I want to go out on my terms, and that's what he did. I just feel like he could have played a little bit more after the events of 192 with Rick Grimes dying. He could have. He's always said, the book will continue on after Rick Grimes. The book will continue on after Rick Grimes.
I think that was just part of the the lie.
But I would have liked to see a little bit more because they were just getting the Commonwealth established. They were just about to. They spent so much time dragging out the Commonwealth. Really, the payoff wasn't there in a lot of ways. But I would have liked to actually see them going through the elections and see what happens to these characters and how they get to this point. And he could have easily took it to issue 200 and stopped it right there. But dropping it hot on 193 unexpectedly was what he did. So
I like that because even us were expecting whatever to happen at 200.
Yeah,
we've been talking about it for years now.
Right.
That at 200, something big's going to happen, and Kirkman was like, gave us everybody the middle finger.
Well, that was my theory. After last issue when Rick Grimes got shot, I was like, you're probably going to see him on life support for the next X amount of issues, and then he's going to die at issue 200. When they read the election, it's going to cut to him, and you're going to see like his little monitor, and he's going to be dead. But I mean,
I'm glad they didn't do that. I'm glad they didn't drag it out because Kirkman sometimes does that. He drags things out a little too much, and I'm kind of glad that he didn't because there's more times than not that we've done comic reviews and we've said, okay, that was a filler issue. Nothing much happened to that issue. So I'm glad he said, you know what? I'm going to give this to everybody in a nice little package. I'm not going to jack up the price. I'm going to surprise everybody. He said he even had a part of his deal with Adlard was if the book kind of gets stale, he's not going to draw it anymore. He's not going to draw it just to draw it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Do it with purpose and love behind it. And so he was cool with ending this because he knew, it was going to go out on a high note, and they're right. They did. I think that's awesome.
I mean, it was like, I don't want to be cheesy as saying it the equivalent of saying goodbye to a loved one, but it's like saying goodbye to a friend when you move away that you don't know if you're ever going to see again. Because I've put so much time in this book. Like, this book started in 2003. I was a senior in high school, and now here I am, 34, and the book just ends. So it's like, it's
16 years of your life.
Yeah, it's a huge time span. You've been following this, and I'm a huge fan of the show and of the shows, I should say, especially with Fear now. But it's sad.
I think,
but it's sad, but it's good at the same time.
I think that Walking Dead can be put up there. I mean, obviously it can be put up there, but the way that he ended it like this, and basically it's been him and Adlard for 99% of the book. They didn't change the artist up. It was kind of a bummer that Tony wasn't part of it anymore, but that was a long time ago. And they did like 15 years together. That's kind of like, now you're putting them up there with Bendis and Bagley in Ultimate Spider-Man. You're putting them up there with Neil Gaiman and with the Sandman run. You're putting them up there with Garth Ennis and Tim Dillon and the Preacher run. Like, there's certain runs that are iconic to modern era comic books, and Walking Dead is at the top of the heap right now. With the way they ended it, the way that they didn't let it get totally stale. I mean, there was a little periods of time where you were just waiting for the next thing, but every year there was a good storyline going in this book, it seemed. So I'm proud. I'm happy to say that he ended it this way, and that now it's like finished, and it's that good. So I'll be interested to see what he does now. I mean, what's going on with Oblivion Song? I totally quit reading that. So
it's still going. It's still going. I fell off of it. It didn't hold my interest. too much else to read.
He's still got Oblivion Song and Die Die Die, and he's still got comics out there. But I mean, the other kicker is Walking Dead was one of the biggest, hottest selling comic books for Image Comics, right behind Saga. Like Saga and Walking Dead were trading off 1 and 2. So just to one day be like, I'm gonna end it. One of the biggest money making comics for not only Skybound but Image. It's kind of crazy. And I mean,
it saved Image. It literally, I think it saved Image. I think Image was probably getting to the point where they needed something, and he saved Image.
I think if nothing else, it's the book that showed Image Comics that you don't need to have a superhero to drive your story, because it's a little story about a group of people in a zombie apocalypse, and they took a chance on it. When they put it out, they didn't know if it was going to sell. They threw it out there, and they took a chance, and it exploded and became one of the hottest books in the world. So
yeah,
that's why number 1 will always be a decent price book, because it's got a low print run.
Yeah.
Well, I've been thinking, lately with all this hype about what I'm going to do with the collection that I have, and
we're going to put it up for a contest.
I'm going to keep only number 1 and 19. And I think I'm going to get rid of the rest. And I think that's something that we can talk about, to the people out there, that there's some really nice books in that run. And 1 and 19, I think, are probably 1 and 2. I think the Governor might be 3. What do you guys think for the biggest books in that run?
I mean, you 100, you got to throw 100 up there. I mean, it's not a high selling book, but as far as like the significance of the story, 100 is right up there.
Huge selling book.
I mean, it doesn't. You could buy it for reasonably. What?
It was a huge selling book, though.
Yeah, 100. Yeah.
I think 100 was one of the books that kicked off the speculator era. Speculating and comics thing was just kind of getting a groove going and riding a bit of a wave when that 100 went crazy because of Negan being cast in the TV show and everything. And even 100 at the time was probably the last book I remember having this much of where everybody called everybody and was like, did you fucking read it yet? You know what I mean? Like at that time, everybody was reading Walking Dead that was reading comics, I think. And that book was the one where everybody just was like, this is crazy. And it just got crazier from there. So, 100's up there. So basically first Negan, first Governor, first appearance, or issue 1, and then first Mission. I probably, what would you put as the next top 5?
It's hard to say. What do you think, Kyle?
Maybe the first Jesus.
I put the Death of Shane in there.
Death of Shane.
I would put, let's see, maybe.
How about the first appearance of Daryl?
Yeah, that's the best one.
Yeah, that's probably let's put that at number 5. That's a good issue.
If anyone has that, I need to get my hands on that, because I can't seem to find that anywhere.
Yeah, it's a tough one. So, but
I think 108, the first Ezekiel.
Well, that's one of the few that I'll probably will keep. I have a 9.8 of that. And I'll probably keep it because when Ezekiel showed up, dude, the tiger was my favorite character, man. That character, the tiger, the whole thing with the tiger was badass.
Oh yeah,
they never should have killed her.
Mm.
So, but anyways,
I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff that happens in The Walking Dead. It's really hard, but I think those are really good.
And Walking Dead's not going anywhere. The TV show and the movies and the whole thing it'll be around. It'll be interesting to see if a new comic starts.
I think they're gonna call it Dead Walking.
Yeah, that's kind of what Kyle and I speculated, is that we're gonna wait and see if there's a spin-off or a different take that comes out following different people. Like I joked with Kyle, I was like, watch, we're going to get a new comic and it's going to be following the Fear the Walking Dead cast.
That's another good underdog in the chat put up. Did any of the blind bag stuff end up being worth anything? Do you remember that blind bag stuff? Were there sketches in there?
Yeah, there was sketches, virgins, black and whites. Some of that stuff is pricey.
Big shout out to Josh. Josh, I will contact you shortly.
I do know that the J. Scott Campbell Michonne was a hot sketch cover, was a hot book for a while. Out of that pull bag stuff.
Got a bunch of those pull bags. God damn.
Did you keep any unopened?
Yes, I did, just in case.
Yeah,
Got a few in there that did not open. It was hard, super hard not to.
Yeah.
Quite a few of them, though. I think I opened them before I even let the comic book appear.
Now that I think about it, they did a lot of really good variants. I mean, there's some really good variants. Number 100 being probably the number one, right? The ruby red issue 100 RRP variant with the bat. It's just got the bat. And
100 has a ton of variants. I actually like the commemorative cover they did for 192. I don't know if anyone saw it at their local comic shop this week, but a kind of a in memoriam to Rick Grimes.
So you know what's kind of interesting about that one? If you open up that one and look at the barcode, it doesn't show it as a second print.
Really?
It shows it as a first print.
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't notice that. Yeah. I haven't even taken mine out of the. No, I didn't even take it out of the bag and board. I haven't touched it.
I was looking at it. I was actually at the comic book store looking at it, and then me and Ken were talking about it, and he's like, "I think that's just another little sprinkle thing that Kirkman did. It's not truly a second print. It's I guess it's a first print with a different cover. But it's still, if you look at the barcode, it says 111 on it. So it's interesting. But I guess it's weird though, because it did come out a month later. So,
yeah, it's probably just a mess up on their end, just to try and make some extra money off of it.
I think it's so you could technically still sell it as a first print, because it doesn't say first print on the barcode, and it doesn't say first print in any verbiage when you first open it up.
Yeah, just call it a variant.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw it out there right now. I think when it all said and done, issue 130 is gonna be a huge issue, and I think the TV show is gonna have a lot to do with influencing that issue.
What was 130?
First Whisperers.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that's another great issue.
First appearance of the Whisperers.
Yes. So. Yes. That was genius. Absolute genius writing.
Yeah.
I remember reading that issue just being like, holy shit.
The blind bag, sorry to go back to the blind bag stuff, that actually has some of my favorite covers in it. Let's see if I can... let's see, one of my all-time... I love the issue 150 Tony Moore remake cover. I love that cover.
I think any of the reprints in number one are good issues.
What, Kyle?
That wasn't in the blind bags.
No, I know. I'm just saying I like that cover because I just pulled my Walking Dead collection out, and it was, the first thing I grabbed. Because I got that and protective stuff. Let's see. I'm looking for some of my blind bag stuff. But I think, it's gonna be a long time just because the comic's ending. It's gonna be a long time before we see effectively the span and just the amount of effect on our culture that Walking Dead actually has when it's all said and done. So, let's see.
I think just real quick to flip the script, just because it's a good little cue in segue. The Sandman stuff. We talked about Walking Dead kind of being up there, Sandman being up there with Walking Dead in the runs of the 90s books. There's some news coming out that with Sandman again that we've been crossing our fingers for years, that it's going to get made into some type of film or TV property, and the news is coming in hot and heavy that we're hopefully going to get that now. So,
well, hold on, just to kind of go back. Tim asked a question in the chat. He said, "Do you know how to tell what's in the blind bag without opening it?"
No. They were black sealed bags that you had to cut open. I just actually wrote that in the chat.
Yeah.
And then Underdog asked, did any of the blind bag stuff end up being worth anything? I don't think so. Nothing really panned out really big. There was small influxes, and then they kind of just
talking
petered
about
out.
with the J. Scott Campbell sketch cover ended up being like the most expensive book in there.
I think it heated up, and then it like fizzled out very quick because everybody was posting them. There was nothing that was super uncommon was what ended up happening. But it was still cool. Like I don't know, just the excitement. I remember when DC did it. And
Whoa, hold on. You guys feel the ground shaking?
no.
Dude, my chair is like swaying back and forth.
Yeah, there was just an earthquake. Jose just said it.
Did he? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, like I just felt my chair shaking. I was like, what the hell is that?
You guys are joking. No way.
No, I'm serious.
Did anybody else in Arizona feel that earthquake? I think he's full of shit.
Jose just came in the chat and said it.
I know.
I don't take his
That's
word
pretty
for nothing.
cool. That's pretty cool. I didn't feel shit, man.
I didn't feel shit either.
Well, let's look that up live. Let me go to the earthquake epicenter.
Oh man, look at
Look at
this.
this.
Center.
We're getting silency of this motherfucker.
I'm gonna we're gonna live. Here we go. Earthquake epicenter on Twitter.
I can't find any of my. I'm getting concerned now. I can't find any of my fucking pull bag covers.
Mine are just in a box. So
That's mine are everywhere. So I try to keep all my Walking Dead stuff together.
I do too, but I'm not going to go. I think it's buried under a bunch of other boxes.
Oh, there they are.
Aftershocks? Oh, are there aftershocks going on? Are we getting aftershocks of that thing that happened in California a couple hours ago?
Maybe I just all of a sudden was sitting here and I felt my chair swaying back and forth. I was like, "Ooh, am I getting dizzy? Am I like pass out or something?" And then it just came on the news that there was.
Oh yeah, look, it looks like there was an earthquake. Maybe.
I know there was one in California. What, yesterday? Day before?
Hold on, let's see here. What's going on, Pops?
Look at the swagger on Brian.
I
Answer
know.
the phone in the podcast.
Well, while he's doing that, so like this right here was one of my favorite
Ooh, I feel my
pull
chair
bag
shaking
covers. So like this alpha cover, it's kind of, I guess,
now. Oh,
kind
yeah,
of
that was cool.
This was another Virgin variant pull bag to issue number 1. I think that's a pretty dope cover. And then this was the J. Scott Campbell. I got the Virgin variant, but this was the J. Scott Campbell one for the first appearance of Michonne for 19. So there's cool books in the blind bag variant if you're a collector, but it's not like breaking the bank, type books if you're trying to resell.
There's a 7.1. Oh my God.
Where
In
at?
California.
And it reached all the way here?
Yeah.
Dang.
Ooh, we're getting closer to having our own fucking bay.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
there it is
crazy.
again. Hold on. It's happening
feeling it
again right
again?
now. Yeah.
Chris, can you feel that? We're having earthquakes right now.
I don't feel shit. Nothing happens in fucking Glendale. I don't feel it.
That's
I
crazy.
think you guys are fucking liars.
Nah, dude, I'm not lying at all, bro. I'm being 100% honest.
Jose felt it too. Jose shot a thing.
I didn't feel it again.
Ridge rest. Wow. Ridge crest. I don't know.
Your dog,
Anyway,
Abby, feels it.
Abby feels it. She's
pissed.
Right?
Yeah, she's like, fuck this. Where is she? Maybe she does. I don't know. Take her outside. See if she. Maybe who knows?
Mac, my dog just hauled ass inside and he's sitting underneath my legs now, like he's not moving. So I don't know.
My guinea pig is super quiet right now.
Oh, I think I felt it. No, I think that was just. I think I got to take a shit though.
All right.
No, I'm just kidding. So it looks like there's a cluster of them in Southern California right now. 4.7 in Little Lake, California. 6.9 in Ridgecrest.
Yeah.
5.0 in Sears Valley.
Corbin says it's heavy in Las Vegas and Cali right now.
Wow.
Damn.
That's freaking nuts.
Well, everybody listening, be safe.
Yeah. This is crazy. That's nuts. But
it's the aliens.
Yeah,
they thought Independence Day was today. They're coming to get Will Smith.
Yeah, it's crazy. But so Sandman's coming. What have you guys heard about it? What do you guys think?
Is it still with Joseph Gordon-Levitt? Is he still attached to it, or did he
I
bail on it?
don't know. I think he might have bailed on it.
I mean, if it's still with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I'm 100% down for that.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Joseph Gordon-Levitt ever since Brick. I don't know if you guys did you ever see that movie, Matt? Brick?
I have not seen Brick, no.
Brick is one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's got to put it on that famous McClay top 10 list that is constantly growing over 10. It's an homage to old film noir movies from the 40s. No, man, it's happening right now. Chris, look, hold on. I got to prove to my brother that these fucking earthquakes.
I just want to point out there for everyone. I'm glad Jose can message us about an earthquake, but he can't show up to do the show. Just throw that out there. Call us sour grapes, but whatever.
I thought the same thing. I was like, motherfucker, he's messaging us knowing we're recording.
Yeah. There was a 7.1. That's crazy.
That seals the deal.
He
That's
can't
nuts.
fucking show up for the show, but he can sit here and message us about a damn earthquake.
What a
Yeah.
fucking dick.
Yeah. But so anyways, we got a Sandman story coming. Keep your eyes on the big Sandman books. They're starting to blow up. Sandman #1 was following.
Is there
That was
any
really
speculation on if it's going to cover the original story or what?
Oh yeah, they got to cover the original story. There's so much good stories in that run.
So that means if you got a first appearance at Death, those are probably going to skyrocket here soon.
Yeah, I think the first 10. Yeah, the first 10 in that series are probably all great books to have right now.
Yeah.
Doesn't he have he has a cameo, doesn't he, before his first appearance?
No, he doesn't.
Or is that Death that has a cameo before her first appearance?
I don't know if Death has a cameo. That's a good
Jose
question.
would be the one to ask about that because he's the one.
Yeah.
Cameo in Incredible Hulk wedding issue.
Yeah, that's right. She was in the Incredible Hulk wedding issue, which was a Marvel book, a Vertigo character in a Marvel book, which was kind of crazy. Yeah. That was kind of cool. And then they put her in the DC universe. What was that Action Comics issue where she was in? That was a cool book. But Sandman #1 was a book that the majority of people out there collecting comics could have bought for, really, it's probably the cheapest it's been since the day it came out in the past couple of years, year. It really fell off after it got hot when Joseph Gordon-Levitt kind of came out and said something. And I remember I bought a couple copies for like $20. So
I bought a few. I bought a few. I bought everyone I could for a good price.
Yeah. So that's a good book to be on the lookout for, and let's cross our fingers that it finally happens this time, because I think Sandman is it's probably the top 5 comic properties that need to be made that haven't been made yet, and that has just been caught up in development hell. I think it's probably up there with Saga. A lot of people are Saga people, so I think that's a thing. That's one of the books that people put up there that need to be made, but Sandman.
and shit.
Yeah. Sandman can be, if they do it right, it could be a game changer.
Oh, if they do it right, it's gonna be fucking epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sorry, not to interrupt. 7.1 magnitude. It happened 11 miles from Ridgecrest, California, and we were felt here. So that's crazy.
Yeah. I'm getting videos from some buddies in one of the chats in California, and their pool is just looks like cannonballs are in it and stuff. So
Underdog 280 says he's reading that it's coming to Netflix. The earthquake is coming to Netflix. No, Sandman's coming to Netflix.
Good. I think that Netflix and Amazon Prime are really good places to take those properties that nobody else could seem to get off.
When it comes to Sandman, we're going to find out a lot more in the next 2 weeks, especially in 2 weeks during San Diego Comic-Con. We're going to find out a lot more about Sandman.
I think the reason Sandman got picked up through Netflix is 100% due to Umbrella Academy. What's that?
What'd you say?
Umbrella Academy. Umbrella Academy being so good is the reason that we're hearing about Sandman and Netflix right now.
I figured part of it was part of the reason why they grabbed Lucifer and put the last season of Lucifer on Netflix, because Lucifer is one of the biggest shows on Netflix right now. It's one of the, probably up until Stranger Things, Lucifer was probably the biggest watched show on Netflix yet.
Yeah,
it was, and I think it might be kind of smart that they did that, because they've introduced people who probably normally wouldn't have tried to watch it. They've already introduced them, maybe not to the same Lucifer Morningstar, but to Lucifer Morningstar. So
that was a great show.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
that's actually my next binge is Lucifer, because I've gone back to watch it, because I watched it right when it came out on Fox and everything, but I've backed up to watch it, and now I'm finally to the I can watch the last season now. Awesome show.
Yeah,
but I think it's brilliant of them if they did it that way.
Yeah,
because they've already planted this seed.
Yeah.
When they see this new show pop up, I bet you a lot of people watch it.
All right, so we're an hour in. What do you say we give away this?
Let's do it.
You really you just can't wait till the end of the show, huh?
We're gonna do it.
Who cares?
All right,
let's do it. Let's give these people what they want.
That's what I want.
I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen.
All right, so right now, everyone should be aware. I know that Kyle's mom's said it a couple times in the Facebook chat tonight. For the last couple of weeks, we've been doing a giveaway for a awesome Neil Adams Green Lantern, Green Arrow cover, the legendary Heroine issue cover. It is a giant print. It is signed by Neil Adams right here. It was signed by him in person in front of us at Phoenix I'm going to call it Comic-Con. Phoenix Fan Fest or Fan Fusion or whatever it's called now.
Comic-Con.
Yeah, Comic-Con. They look really, really nice framed. So you guys have Bill says in the Facebook chat, you might not be around till the end of the #earthquake.
Yeah.
I feel it shaking. No, I don't.
Yeah. So here we go.
So yeah, we've been giving that away. So we're gonna do the drawing for the winner right now. So every time you guys have been in the chat, made a comment, done the special thing we've asked, you guys have been thrown in for an entrance to win this. So it's pretty much open to anyone. So good luck, and I'm gonna give Brian the host, and we'll find out who the winner is.
All right. So we got all the names in a randomizer, and we're going to roll the dice to see how many times we hit the random button. And the name in the number one spot on the last roll is going to get the print. So here we go. We are going to roll the dice. Oh, wonderful. You got to love that. Here we go. 12 times. So here are all the names here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Drum roll.
12.
Here's lucky number 12.
13. No, Cobra Comics.
Oh,
Cobra Comics. There we go. So Cobra Comics, contact us. How do you want to have them contact us, Matt?
Cobra Comics, go ahead and send your shipping info to Absolute Geek Podcast at gmail.com. I'll also shoot you a message on YouTube. And how long do we give them to reply before we pick a different winner?
Let's give them
7 minutes.
Yeah, no, let's give them till next week.
Till next Friday? All right, so you have till next Friday if you're listening to this on the playback, because I noticed they didn't pop in the chat tonight. With July 4th, it's unexpected, but...
we'll contact.
Yeah, I'll reach out to you, or you could send us a email with your shipping info, and we will get that sent out to you. Congratulations, and thanks everyone who participated.
He said he was local. We could probably just meet up with him. And
Or meet up with them, yeah.
Yeah, so very cool. All right. So
Kyle, your mom said she was robbed.
Yeah, I did.
She probably was number 1 on every one but 12. So
I thought for sure it was going to be Tim with how many entries he had in there.
yeah. But all right, so yeah, finally give that thing away. So thank you everybody, and make sure you guys check out the interview if you haven't checked it out yet. It's on the Absolute Geek YouTube page. Really cool interview. We got to do a short interview with Neil Adams. It was very cool, and if you guys haven't seen it yet, please go check it out. It was very cool to hear his story about Marvel and Stan Lee and the Spider-Man drug issue, and how they kind of stole the idea.
We'll do this. If anybody wants to, I can see all the chats. Anybody wants to, throw a 1 in the chat. If you want to do another quick, have Brian roll the dice again to potentially win a Harley Quinn Batwoman print.
There we go.
Or let me stop presenting. Brian's presenting to everyone. Let me fix this. Hold on. Here, I'll give it to myself. All right, so everyone throw a 1 in the chat if you want a chance to re-roll right now to win a Batman Harley Quinn or a Harley Quinn Batwoman print, or a Batman Joker Harley Quinn print, or in true spirit to Homecoming, a Spider-Man print.
He's still posting stuff. Does he know we're recording?
Look at all these 1s going up there.
So I think, of course, mine counts, Tim.
Kyle's does not count.
So I think anybody that's already on the list, like Underdog, add him to the list right now, and we'll just re-randomize it.
Yeah. So let's see here.
And the Harley Quinn Batwoman is signed by the artist who did the print in the lower corner.
We'll do that at the end of the show. We'll go ahead and give those away at the end of the show.
All right.
So
All right, the end of the show. Let's do it.
Let's give everybody the reason why I kind of wanted to do that right then is because I wanted to give everybody a heads up, because I really want to talk about it, and I haven't seen it yet. So I guess spoiler warnings about Spider-Man Far From Home. How long has it been out now?
4 days.
4 days, yeah.
So I say we talk about it.
And spoil the shit out of it.
Spoil the shit out of it. So let's go ahead and give everybody a heads up. If you don't want to hear about Spider-Man Far From Home, we're going to start talking about it. Maybe take a smoke break or something.
I think I'm the only one here that's seen it.
Yes, you have. That's why you're going to talk about it.
Let me get these.
Tim asked if we were recording.
No, we're not. We're not recording, Tim.
Yeah. So
I wanted someone to ask Jose real quick in the chat if he's had another stroke, because he seemed to have lost his damn mind. If he doesn't think that it's Friday night and he's sitting here messaging us when he just decided to not show up when we sent the invites to start the show. Oh, also, if we have any Power Rangers fans I'll give this away too. Screw it.
Damn, Matt's giving away the house.
Yeah.
Type to number 2. I'm just playing. Don't do that.
So
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to give me all the names, man. Jesus.
we got Prince.
Jose's name because he's not in here.
So Spider-Man Far From Home, I enjoyed it. It's definitely worth seeing. I'm trying not to spoil too much of it. There's 2 end credit scenes. The 2 end credit scenes are game changers for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it kind of gives you a big hint in the direction they're moving towards. But
Left.
Dude, Jake Gyllenhaal to me steals this movie. Mysterio is fantastic. I love the way they portray Mysterio in this movie. If this movie does not win an Academy Award for Best Special Effects, it got robbed, because the way they do Mysterio's effects in this movie are fantastic. So I gave it an 8.5 just because there's some stuff that I think they could have done better.
Like what?
But just like I don't want to ruin it. But a lot of the stuff, I'm gonna just tell you right now, a lot of the stuff you see in the trailers is not in the movie.
That's cool. I like when they do that. That's awesome.
So like we'll talk about the trailer. So like the whole like seeing Peter Parker swinging around, him going and getting his passport, him going to get a toothpaste, like none of that is in the movie. So it kind of just cuts to him like getting ready to go to that conversation with the cops, where he's like, "You're the next, so you're the next Iron Man." He's like, "I'm too busy doing your job." That's not in the movie at all. So it's kind of it's a fitting ending to the, what do they call it? The Infinity War or Infinity storyline, saga storyline. It's a good ending to that. And you see Peter just wanting to be a normal kid after the events of Infinity War and Endgame. He just wants to go on vacation and spend time with his friends. He wants to try to get closer to MJ, and he kind of gets wrapped up in Nick Fury, just kind of like starts twisting everything to get Spider-Man to kind of help Mysterio fight the elementals. But we had a lot of theories on this show about that I'll tell you we're almost dead on. If you don't remember them, you'll have to go back and check it out. Tim wants to know what the first issue of Night Monkey is. Yes. That's what they call Spider-Man in the movie when he's wearing the stealth suit, is Night Monkey. Spoiler.
Somebody did a sketch where they wrote Night Monkey on it.
Yeah, spoiler. That's the most I can give away without doing spoilers. Like I said, it was a fitting ending. You kind of see Peter struggling with that. Is he going to be the next Tony Stark, the next Iron Man responsibilities? And I'd definitely say you got to go see it for yourself. It's an enjoyable movie, if nothing else for Mysterio, because goddamn, he was fantastic. Jake Gyllenhaal knocked it out of the park with him, man.
I was kind of sketchy about him playing it. Like, I didn't think he was going to be able to pull it off.
Oh, dude, he crushed it.
But I still think, like, I saw the one meme because I still picture him as Bubble Boy.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jake Gyllenhaal is a great actor, man.
Oh, he's a fantastic actor, yeah. But
I just thought he was going to be a hard time. I thought he was just going to have a hard time pulling it off.
Well, one of the things that we kind of segue into this is, the news that's kind of coming out, the rumors that Marvel's going to get Hugh Jackman to play Doctor Doom. We were talking about how we love, the Mysterio role and Jake Gyllenhaal, and it was a good casting. What do you guys think about having Wolverine play Doctor Doom?
I think it's a good choice if Jackman wants to come back. I mean, it kind of sounded like after Wolverine, he really had no interest in doing the superhero movie anymore. So, I mean, and if the popularity of Deadpool and all that, if Ryan Reynolds couldn't get him to come back, I don't see him coming back to play Doctor Doom.
I don't like it. I don't want him to play Doctor Doom.
I think it's got to go. It depends. Part of me is like it's got to go hand in hand with whoever they cast as Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards. Like, because they're all cohesive. Like they're kind of go together, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it's whoever they cast in that role. Like even Keanu wouldn't be bad in that role, but. Oh, that's the big
You
thing.
talking about that cat?
No, I'm talking about Keanu Reeves.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think either of those guys would be good for Doctor Doom.
Who would you cast as Doctor Doom?
I don't know. That's my problem.
Jose, because he won't show up.
I don't know who I'd cast.
I could cast Jose as Blank Man.
Blank Man.
The Blank Man remake.
It'll be interesting. I just hope that's a rumor and not something that's true. I don't like it. But there's been other castings in the past that I didn't like that turned out really well. So
I don't think
I
we're
don't
gonna
think
know.
I'd be a good cast person. I don't think I'd be a good person to pick people.
no.
I don't think
I
we're
would-
gonna know what direction Marvel moves in, because there's been that speculation about you're gonna have the cosmic storylines and then you're gonna have the Earth storylines and you're gonna have different villains across those movies. So like you're gonna have the rumor's been Norman Osborn's gonna be the main villain in the overarching grounded story, and you're gonna have someone else be the cosmic bad guy. I don't think we're not gonna know a lot more about where they're moving until San Diego Comic-Con. Now, there's been these leaks, like you sent one earlier this week, Brian. There's been these leaks of this is Marvel's Phase 4 lineup. This is Marvel's Phase 4 lineup. But take those with a grain of salt, because they're saying we're not getting X-Men or Fantastic Four for a long time. There's not even production. If they had any like half the movies you're expecting on there, you've already heard of them starting to do production on, like Black Panther 2, the next Captain Marvel, Guardians 3. Like you're hearing them set up these movies already, and they're telling you you're not getting Fantastic Four or X-Men for years. Then I'd take what you see with a grain of salt. They could be lying to us, but a lot of those leaks that are coming out, like the way Spider-Man Far From Home ends, I don't see the next Spider-Man movie being called Spider-Man Academy. I could see the next animated Sony Spider-Man movie being called Dimensions, but I don't see the next Spider-Man Tom Holland movie being called Spider-Man Academy.
Why, you don't think he could be at Academy at college?
The way, dude, we'll talk about it. If you want to know, we'll talk about it off air. But
Yeah,
the way they end Spider-Man Far From Home, in the definitive end of the movie is actually an after credit scene. So the definitive end of the movie, it's a mid-credit scene. That's all I'm going to tell everyone who hasn't seen it yet. So stay till the mid-credits, because that's the definitive end of the movie.
Blow the scene.
Huh?
Blow the scene.
No, you've seen it, Kyle.
Blow the scene.
I'm not going to blow it. I'm not going to ruin it for people.
We'll ruin it next week.
Yes.
Well, there's a statute of limitations there, but I mean, am I wrong, Kyle? Because the way they end that movie, the next movie is not going to be like this. It's not going to follow the same formula.
It's gonna be different.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. I like that they're kind of giving it a good twist. I mean, they're doing it differently.
I'll put it to you this way, Brian, and it might. I apologize if it ruins people in the chat or listening to this who are knowledgeable on the comic scene. An event happens at the end of this movie that actually happened during Civil War that leads to the ramifications lead to One More Day.
Oh shit. Wow.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, you nailed it.
That sucks. Terrible storyline.
Well, no, they're not going to. The next movie won't be One More Day. I'm just saying to give you an event of what happens.
I still think it's a terrible storyline. Why would you have him do that? that early. I don't, I can't say that. It's funny because I complain a lot about these movies before they come out, but Kevin Feige has done a really good job. So you can't really say that he's, we got to be a little bit more positive, I guess, or I do, because Kevin Feige really has done a really good job where he's taken all these movies. I don't think there's been a Marvel movie in the last 10 years that's been terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, they've figured it out, and I got confidence that they're going to continue the path of good Marvel movies.
I have kind of a theory on how they're going to try and spin it and play it off, but we'll have to see going forward.
It'll be a good discussion for next week. So I'm going to try to see it tomorrow, or I'm going to see it Sunday.
Yeah.
I definitely, my personal opinion is see it in the theater, see it in IMAX if you're going to see it, because the Mysterio, the way they do the special effects for Mysterio, you got to see it on the big screen.
It just sucks seeing, for me, it sucks seeing movies on IMAX and 3D because I have glasses.
Yeah, I know.
Putting 3D glasses.
I wouldn't do it in 3D, but I would definitely do IMAX, the bigger screen.
Yeah.
Or if you have a Harkins, a Cine 1, or whatever. I've seen the movie twice already, and it's been out a few days. Cool. So.
Yeah, maybe I'll go check it out. It sounds like everybody really likes it, so yeah, I'll go check it out.
Yeah, everybody's had really good things to say about it. I haven't had anybody really. There's always that one person that shits on it, and I really haven't seen that one person that shits on it.
Like they call the event where everyone got wiped, the Thanos snap, they call it the blip. And they definitely address like the whole thing is like, even though they were already done midterms, because of the blip, they reset the school year. So even the people that were like 5 years older had to go back and redo that year. So they have one kid who's like extremely old. He's like 21 with them. So like they definitely touch on the blip and what happened to people who were snapped away versus who weren't. So it's definitely a good movie.
Yeah, I gave it an 8.5.
8.5. Like I said, there's
Andy
things that I would have liked to see more of in that movie, but whatever.
Like what?
Look, I mean, I want to see more Spider-Man action. Like the fight scene was nice and long, and he had a lot of good Spider-Man moments in there. But between then, like, there wasn't a lot of Spider-Man-esque action. So a little bit more action.
I bet you the next Spider-Man movie will.
Maybe.
Because I think it's going to be so like Homecoming was him kind of coming into having the new suit and kind of coming into being Spider-Man, and he did, Civil War and all that. I haven't seen Homecoming, but Homecoming's like him, like.
You mean Far From Home?
Far From Home.
I was gonna say, I hope you've seen Homecoming.
I've seen Homecoming. I think with Far From Home, I think there's a struggle there with him wanting to be. That's what I got from the previews and what I think it is. He kind of wants to. He's kind of forced back into being Spider-Man, right?
Yeah. Well, because he's not forced into it. He's still being Spider-Man after it, but like his whole thing is after everything that happened, he wants to go on vacation. He doesn't want to do Spider-Man stuff. He just wants to be a normal kid and spend time with his friends. And
so I think the next one is, and he kind of has come into his own where he's Spider-Man. It's his thing now, right?
Yeah.
Assuming, like, it's always been his thing, but like I think it's sealed, right?
Yeah.
So maybe the next one will be more of a more long action-packed Spider-Man.
I mean, there's always been that talk that people compare, like, okay, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is definitely following a lot of the Ultimate comic storylines, and they kind of take from both storylines and everything like that. But I think it kind of shows with Peter's age and kind of the way they're progressing things that storyline is following the Ultimate Comics version of the character pretty well. So I think like part of me thinks that you're gonna get maybe one or two more Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, and then they're gonna move on to Miles.
You think so, huh?
Mm-hmm. Just by the way things played out and the way Miles is introduced, I think you get 1 to 2 more Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, and then they're going to move on to Miles.
That'd be kind of a bummer, actually. I just wish they'd quit killing villains.
Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm.
Let somebody come back.
Yeah, they shouldn't kill villains at all.
Somebody. And I get it. Oh, we're fucking really another Mysterio movie. But some of these fucking villains are awesome, and it deserves to be extended.
Well, Spider-Man's rogue gallery is entire villain. Like his rogues gallery, his villains are a pivotal part of him because most of them come back to form the Sinister Six, and there's other there's other reasons for those villains to be there and not kill them off. And just like they didn't kill off the Vulture, they put him in jail. They don't need to kill off villains. Not saying that they kill off Mysterio, but I'm just saying, to bring up your point, they don't need to kill off villains, especially Spider-Man villains.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just wouldn't be a bad thing if even if he has to deal with a few, it's not a bad thing if they come back. Like, they break out of jail and somebody gets somebody and they team up to do, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a bad thing if they come back.
So did you guys see the thing that Jake Gyllenhaal and Tom Holland did with the chick that plays Mary Jane, where they went to the hospital and they dressed up as their characters and they walked around and they talked to the kids?
That was awesome.
That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen, man.
Cheers to them.
Yeah. Tom Holland really did a good job.
That's the stuff they should be doing.
Hell yes.
Tim says in the chat, I think they can do both. Sony can have Miles exclusively, and they can share Peter with Disney. Yeah, I mean, they can do that too.
Share with Disney.
They can do that too, but I don't know. I think with the popularity of the character, there's going to come a time where they press to get Miles. Especially, look, like they just cast a black actress to play Ariel in The Little Mermaid. So you have a lot of diversity and changing of race for characters going on now, and like, who's to say Disney doesn't get on board with that? And they're like, all right, let's go with a huge character and let's bring Miles into this universe. We already know he's there. We knew from Homecoming he's established.
I think he's going to be a cartoon. I think they're going to do another Miles cartoon. I think he's going to be an animated movie.
Ooh, there's a good Miles and Peter teaming up in the big screen against the Sinister Six would be awesome. Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
Dude, I finally watched Teen Titans Go.
Even like a Spider-Man movie will be awesome. What were you gonna say, Kyle? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Teen Titans Go to the movies. I finally watched. Oh my god, that movie's fucking fantastic. Have you seen it?
I have not. No.
The most recent one?
Yeah.
No.
So funny. So Stanley makes a cameo. They called Deathstroke Deadpool the entire movie. I'm not Deadpool. You look like Deadpool. It's fucking everything about it is awesome.
Stan Lee makes a cameo, right?
A couple of them. He jumps in twice.
That's awesome. I like that they can have fun like that.
It was hilarious. Like, I know I took too long to see it, but it was, dude. If you guys it's on HBO now, man. I recorded it, man. I've already watched it a couple times. Everything about it is fucking odd. It's hilarious. It's just, I don't know. It's just funny. They make fun of everybody in that movie. There's a thing where they go back in time to ruin everybody's storyline so that they have to make a movie about them. And like the way they get rid of Aquaman is they throw a 6-pack, the 6-pack rings that hold the cans in the 6-pack. They throw that in the water and it traps Aquaman. Like, it's so fun. It's just, I don't know. It's really funny. If you haven't watched it, watch it. But like they save Krypton so that they don't shoot Spider-Man. They're like, what kind of parent shoots their kid into space? And then I don't know. like Batman and his parents are like, why would you go into Crime Alley? It doesn't even make sense. Why don't you go to Happy Way? And they take him down a different road. It's all happy and there's rainbows and shit.
Happy Way.
It's fucking funny, man. And they're just like, they realize that they fucked everything up and they have to go back and put it back the way it was.
I think that show is one of the best shows that has been put out for comics. I think that it's fun for kids and adults, and that makes it even better. So I definitely am going to go check it out.
And what's really cool, what they did was, and they just didn't stick with DC. Like, like there's a scene where they're like, let's go steal all the food from Spider-Man's movie. You know what I mean? Like they kind of, but what's cool, what I thought was really cool about it is they introduced you, like, so if kids were only into Teen Titans because it was on Nickelodeon and it was something they watched, they went to the big screen and watch it. It introduced them to so many DC characters. So I think it's kind of cool that they did it in a way that, like, like they told who everybody's villains are, and they introduced a lot of different characters. And I thought that was really cool that it was like a no holds barred thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes it fun. And it'll make it really fun for kids because kids will rewatch it to remember all those characters.
Yes.
One of the things about kids and comics, I know when I was a kid, one of the first comic book things I ever read was a Mad magazine. And I remember being a kid, and one of my best friends, who's one of my roommates right now, when we were kids, we were on the same basketball team, and our dads were the coaches. And I remember we went to like a Circle K or something to get Gatorade before a tournament or something, and there was a Mad magazine, and our coach was telling us how, when he was growing up, his dad had every Mad magazine from number 1 to current, and because his dad was the very first Mad magazine fan club president. He started the Mad magazine fan club. Yeah. His name was Lou Belanzia, and he was one of the very first people to get into Mad magazine. And I remember hearing about that as a kid and just thinking how cool it was. And recently I was kind of that popped into my head again before this news, and I was looking at, see what the prices are on first copies of Mad magazine, because that would be a cool book to own, a nice graded copy, like a 5 or a 4 or something like that. It's kind of a bummer that, the news for Mad magazine is ending.
DC canceled it.
Yep. So.
Yeah, because I loved Mad magazine growing up. I thought it was awesome.
Wow, I just learned something. I didn't know DC owned Mad magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah,
teaching me
they
things.
restarted it recently. And there's a new number 1 and everything. As a matter of fact, I think there's a rare air version of the new number 1 that they released, and a lot of people have been selling that, with the news, because the real number 1, from the whenever it was, the 40s or the 50s or something, is so expensive. But DC was putting it out at the time. I think it was EC that owned Mad magazine to begin with. Does that sound right? EC Comics?
I think so.
I should know that one. That's such a big book in the comic world that's something I should know. But I remember one of the things that I really enjoyed as a kid, after reading, the whole thing, is finding all of, I don't know how to say his last name, so I might butcher it, but Sergio Aragonis, his little drawings, like in the corners of the pages, like of the cleanup crew and, people falling and doing all these crazy things. You could go back and find all those, and it was just cool little Easter eggs. And of course, everybody's favorite thing was the back folding cover.
Yep, fold it together to make the other picture.
I own 3 copies of Mad magazine that I have up on my wall in my display, and one of them is a old school Uncle Sam cover with Alfred E. Newman as Uncle Sam. That's a really good cover. And then there's one where it's just a finger that's flipping the bird, and that's all it is for the cover. And that was like in the 60s. And then my favorite one is I forget the front cover. It might be that Uncle Sam cover. I have 3 copies of that. And if you turn it around, it's got the Frank Frazetta drew Ringo Starr when the Beatles first came out and did a back folding cover, when Ringo Starr is on the back. So that's a really famous, Frazetta drawing. So there's some really famous things that happened in Mad Magazine over the years. So some really great covers.
I got the Walking Dead one up on my wall.
Yeah, the Walking Dead one. That's a recent one. There's a really good recent one where they have President Obama as the baby in the Nirvana cover, in the pool. I collect all those Nirvana homage covers, so I buy those. There's a couple of really good Mario ones when Nintendo first came out, where they make fun of Mario and Luigi. And
Underdog says Spy vs. Spy was my favorite.
Oh, Spy versus
Dude,
Spy. Oh man, that was so good. Yeah, man, that was fun stuff. So
I remember I was so excited when my parents were willing to write that check to mail to Mad Magazine so that I could have a subscription to it. And they would, there's nothing cooler than the Mad Magazine coming in the mail.
Yeah.
With the name on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, I don't know, for a little kid, I think it was almost like a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
You were getting the Mad Magazine.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of a bummer. But I think we end the show with our second randomizer of the show. You ready to do this, Matt?
Let's do it. Did you add all the new people?
I did. I added all the new people. Let me get my stuff ready, and I'll start to share my screen. Basically, what I've done is, here we go. I put everybody that put the ones in the chat in the randomizer with the old people, and with
the elderly.
No, I mean the people from the other week. I don't want to piss off anybody that is a fan of mine. So only my fans are my parents. So here we go. Rolling dice, and we've got a 10. Why? What are these high numbers, man?
Love it.
All right, so here we go. So here's all the names. First random. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and here we go. So Jay Johnson, Tim, and Spencer. Did you do 3 of them, right? Right, Matt?
I mean, we can do 3 of them, or whoever wins can pick either one.
I think 3's cool.
3's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I think let's have Jay Johnson.
Well, you gotta. Well, then we have to somehow distinguish which one that it's for.
Yeah, we'll give Jay first pick.
Okay.
Out of the 3, and then Tim will get second pick, and Spencer will get the one remaining. So I guess we need to contact Jay first, and then once Jay makes his pick, we'll contact Tim, and then we'll contact Spencer. So
Jay's not in the chat. I'm disappointed in him.
Probably out saving people.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, guys. There we go.
Yes, congratulations to all the big winners tonight, and
yeah,
glad we could give some stuff away. We'll have to do some more of this stuff.
Yeah. We definitely got a lot of stuff. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff we can give away. So maybe we can we'll set up some ideas and maybe come up with some subscriber things, like if we reach a certain subscriber number or something like that, we can do.
We'll figure it out, but I'll give out a graded book if we can when we get to
100 subscribers, 200 subscribers, what?
200.
So,
all right, so 200 subscribers on YouTube.
I'll give away a graded book, a cool graded book. I already know which one too. It's gonna be fucking cool.
So, well, let's do this to narrow this down. Who was number 2? Was it Tim?
It was Tim.
Tim, I know you're still here. So in the chat, tell me which print it is you don't want, so that way we automatically know what you're going to take if your first choice isn't taken. Or is taken.
Yeah. So you might want to remind him of the prints.
So there's the Power Rangers versus the Green Ranger versus the DC Universe. I don't want to take them all out again, but there's the Spider-Man print. There's the Batman and Batman and Harley Quinn and Joker, and then there's the Harley Quinn Batwoman. So and then Spencer was the third one, right?
Yep.
Spencer, do the same thing. Tell me if there's a print that you don't want, since there's 4 of them and there's only 3 winners. Tell me if there's a specific print you don't want, and we'll make that easier. I assume you have no life, Tim.
Yeah. So
I like to picture that you spend your personal life kind of like you do on our show, just sitting there awkwardly and not talking.
He's gonna make up for it though.
Yeah. So,
But there you go, big winners, big winners.
good show tonight, guys.
Had a lot of fun.
I hope you guys enjoyed it, and
It was the best.
We would
Go
appreciate
subscribe.
that. Yeah, we appreciate that, Spencer, if you invite people to subscribe to us.
No
Tim,
Power Rangers.
no Power Rangers. All right, cool. Well, I got you then.
Yep.
I got you. Good call, Tim. You hit the nail on the head, bro.
200 subscribers, and I'll give a slab away.
All right,
we'll
guys.
figure out
Well,
which slab that is, and we'll advertise that a little bit. So definitely go subscribe.
it sounds like Brian is calling for the end of the show.
He's gotta take a shit.
He's gotta take a shit. Oh, fantastic. But guys, if you had a great time tonight, make sure to hit that like button. I
And the
see a
subscribe
bunch of
button.
you in the chat, so let's get those likes up. There's only 3 likes. There's a handful of you in the chat, so let's get those likes up. If this is your first time finding us and you had a great time tonight, hit that like and subscribe button. If you're watching us on YouTube or Twitch or Mixer or Facebook, make sure to hit that subscribe button on those channels there, as we are live on those networks every Friday night here at the Absolute Geek Podcast. Spencer says, I'd prefer no Power Rangers as well. You got it. I'm sure I can. So there you go. It's going to be a fight between...
Nobody wants Power Rangers.
Yeah, all right. Well, there you go. It's going to be a fight between the Batman stuff. So there you go. And the Spider-Man.
Very cool, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, that shit Brian is holding could cause several medical issues, Tim. Where was I going? Yeah. If you were not already, make sure to like us on Facebook. We have 2 groups. We have the Absolute Geek Podcast fan page, and then we have a group that we can invite you to too. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at A Geek Podcast. Guys,
If you guys want a shirt, hit me up. I can hook you guys up with a shirt on the super cheap.
there you go. Yeah. Just real quick before guys,
I want to fucking get rid of.
real quick, in 2 weeks, I will not be here for the show. I will be in San Diego at Comic-Con. So make sure to pay attention to social media. I'm going to have all kinds of cool breaking news and updates from San Diego Comic-Con when I'm there. So it's going to be a good time. So, yeah, give that spiel one more time. If this is your first time finding us on YouTube, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. If you're watching on Twitch or Mixer or Facebook, make sure to hit that subscribe button so we can do some more giveaways here. And it's a shame for how good our podcast is that we only have 86 followers on YouTube, so you got to get that number up. But and actually, that's not me boasting. That came from a message we received on Facebook, so I definitely appreciate that. So, again, I want to thank the Darts as always for our intro. And guys, for this week's episode of the Absolute Geek Podcast, I'm Matt,
I'm not Jose.
I'm Brian.
and we will see you next time.